So I'll do so in between I want to do this very light-hearted exercise. So please don't take it very seriously. So I'm going to tell you two objects. One is a candle and one is an oil lamp. So I want you to quickly just close your eyes for a minute and tell me, which metaphor do you resonate more with? Which object would you resonate more with? The candle or the oil lamp? And then I'll tell you what it kind of signifies. So I'll give you a moment, and if you could write in the comment box, and then I can tell you what it signifies. So it's a candle or an oil lamp. Okay, so basically a candle spreads light but burns out while spreading light. Whereas an oil lamp keeps illuminating and allows a constant supply of oil for itself. So you can illuminate and spread light without burning out. Sacrifice, somewhere we feel sacrifice is the ultimate way of showing love. But you don't need to sacrifice and somewhere, overexert yourself to an extent of almost abusing yourself and your body to prove your worthiness and love. And the exercise was, please take it lightly. So whether if you've all chosen the candle, which I'm assuming you would have chosen, it's just a reflection basically. And continuing with the same thing, some of us, when we go through this kind of pain or we go through this kind of abusive experience, a lot of us discover inner strength, and we discover a lot of or we improve our endurance and our tolerance and certain of these virtues. So somewhere there is an association of abuse and pain with growth. And it's very essential for us to dissociate this association, because then if at the subconscious level, this all happens at the subconscious level, if we have an association, then the more we grow and we want to grow, we will manifest these kind of situations more. So through Redikall, we use this technique, which we'll do later, where we R5, our association of growth through abuse, so that we neutralize it. Then another way to overcome this is to take charge of your life. So when you take charge of your life and when you take charge of your loved ones, somewhere naturally you start being fair and gentle to then your other people and yourself somewhere. And taking charge is also about taking charge of your emotions. What I mean by that is that when we discussed earlier that what we do is we suppress our emotions, our communication, we bottle it up. And that's what we shouldn't do, because when we bottle it up and we accumulate all these toxins for long, it is very, very dangerous for our own body. But when we open that bottle and we uncork that bottle after a long time, and then when the emotional toxins come, then as the men and women who've been on that receiving end, I can say it in a light way, but when it comes out, it's very damaging and abusive even for the recipient. So it's important that we learn to have healthy dialogues and constructive, proactive communication with people at regular intervals, so that we do not store all these emotional toxins within us, and we learn to express ourselves in a constructive way. Another way to be kind and compassionate to ourselves is to find a creative solution to the situation and the experience you're going through by connecting to the higher consciousness. So like we've discussed in our previous webinars, that with Redikall techniques, you learn to first become neutral. And then with that neutrality, we connect to our higher self and to the highest consciousness. and then take the guidance for the to solve the situation at hand, because that guidance somewhere is always and will be a win-win situation for everybody around, because somewhere that guidance is always from and for the highest and the best interest of everyone involved. So always work with that, connect with your higher consciousness, and then you'll be able to find offbeat and creative solutions where you can learn to not only be fair and gentle with everybody, but you're going to be learn to be fair and gentle with yourself the most. And the last, before we do the radical statements, is forgiveness. Now you will wonder, how is forgiveness related to being calm and kind and compassionate to yourself? So forgiveness is a very, very essential aspect. So this is now going to another deeper level of understanding, trying to abuse yourself or having people abuse you, is that we've realized that in Radical we have this concept of the soul going through the reversal of karma. So people who have these abusive experiences somewhere have a guilt of abusing others in in this life, or abusing others in the past life. And now the soul wants to go through the reversal of that experience and wants to feel what it is to be abused. Now, because of that need of experience at the soul level, either they will invite someone to abuse them, or they will abuse their own self, either their body directly or indirectly, like we've discussed. And because the guilt somewhere also makes them punish themselves. So it's important to work with that guilt, so that that need to punish and to go through that experience of abuse completely nullifies, and then to ask for forgiveness, so that this pattern stops repeating somewhere. And the third is to discover the brilliance of this experience. So in Radical, we believe that everything that we go through, there is a brilliance in it. So the moment we understand the brilliance, or we understand the gift or the learning of that experience, we transcend that experience. And most of the time we found out with students who've gone through this abusive pattern, is basically either have to learn to be compassionate to themselves, kind to themselves, or to discover the inner strength. And some of them are like torch bearers, where they, where torch bearers for a huge mass of population. So let us discover the brilliance, and so that we can transcend this experience quickly. And we can be kind and gentle and compassionate to ourselves. Because remember, you are your first priority. And you can only give people what you have. So if your cup is empty and there is no compassion and kindness for yourself in that cup of yours, you can't even distribute anything to anybody else. So the beginning is from us.